It was supposed to be over. May 7th, 2019, a Champions League night under the floodlights of Anfield, a cathedral of chaos, faith, and thunder. Barcelona arrived draped in arrogance, holding a 3-0 lead from the first leg. Messi, Suarez, Coutinho, smiling like emperors who had already conquered their empire. Liverpool, by contrast, limped in like wounded soldiers. Salah, out. Firmino, injured. The dream shattered before it could even begin. Every commentator, every analyst, every logical mind said the same thing. It's done. Over. Impossible. But football is not a science. It is poetry, written in sweat and disbelief. And on this night, under the weight of the impossible, belief would roar louder than brilliance. Only a year before, Barcelona themselves had tasted humiliation in Rome, a 3-0 collapse that haunted them like a nightmare. They had vowed never again. This season, they tore through La Liga, dismantled their opponents, and in the Champions League, they looked untouchable. At Camp Nou, they destroyed Liverpool, 3 goals, one from Suarez, one from Messi's divine left foot, a curling free kick in the 82nd minute that kissed the top corner, as if guided by the heavens. It was the kind of strike that ends stories. Even Klopp, a man built on emotion and hope, admitted later that was not human. When the final whistle blew in Spain, Liverpool's players trudged off, broken, gasping, eyes glazed with disbelief. But among them, James Milner's eyes burned, not with sadness, but with fury. He refused to accept the script. In the dressing room later, Klopp gathered his men, voice steady, eyes fierce. "Boys, if anyone can make the impossible possible, it's you." Anfield that night was not a stadium. It was a volcano waiting to erupt. The cop buzzed with raw electricity. The banners waved like battle flags. There was no logic here, only faith. Kickoff. The whistle cut through the night like lightning. Barcelona began calmly, stroking the ball with arrogance, but Liverpool pressed with fire. Every challenge a statement, every run a rebellion against destiny. 7 minutes in, chaos. A misplaced touch from Jordi Alba, rare and nervous. Henderson pounced, charging through the heart of Barcelona's defense. He fired low, Ter Stegen parried, and Origi, ever alert, slid the rebound home. 1-0. Anfield didn't celebrate. It detonated. It wasn't joy. It was belief rising from the ashes. 83 minutes still remained. Barcelona looked stunned, whispering among themselves, unsure if the storm had truly begun. They still led 3-1 on aggregate. One away goal would end it all. But Liverpool's eyes said otherwise. They pressed again and again, relentless, possessed. It wasn't football anymore. It was fury wrapped in rhythm. Messi, calm as ever, tried to take back control. He found pockets of space, threading passes to Suarez, curling shots that tested Alisson's fingertips. In the 17th minute, Messi almost silenced the cop with a curling strike bound for glory, but Alisson, flying like a man possessed, denied him. A fingertip save, but a moment that screamed, "Not tonight." Robertson, full of fire and defiance, clattered into Messi moments later, then turned to Jordi Alba and shouted, "Not tonight." The words echoed like a promise. At halftime, Liverpool sprinted into the tunnel, shirts drenched, lungs burning, hearts alive. Klopp's grin was wild, his voice electric. 2 more goals, that's it. 2 more and the world changes. On the bench sat Gini Wijnaldum, calm, quiet, unaware that destiny was quietly writing his name into eternity. The second half began like a storm reborn. Barcelona tried to regain rhythm, to slow the tempo, to smother Liverpool's fire. But Anfield's roar refused to let them breathe. 54th minute, Trent Alexander-Arnold surged down the right, a 20-year-old with no fear in his veins. His cross whipped through the air, deflecting off Alba's head. Henderson chased it, squared it low across the box, and Wijnaldum, ever alert, drilled it through Ter Stegen's gloves. 2-0. Anfield shook. You could feel the ground tremble beneath thousands of stomping feet. The aggregate now read 3-2, 1 goal from glory. The roar was no longer sound. It was a force of nature. And before Barcelona could even catch their breath, the unthinkable happened again. Shaqiri, dancing on the left flank, lifted a perfect cross into the box. Wijnaldum rose above Piqué, timing it with perfection, and powered a header into the net. 3-0. 2 minutes, 2 goals. The impossible had become real. Wijnaldum ran screaming toward the fans, pounding his chest, disbelief and ecstasy colliding in one primal roar. Klopp on the sideline went mad, fists pumping, glasses barely hanging on. In that moment, Anfield became alive, a living, breathing organism made of 50,000 beating hearts. Barcelona's faces told a story. Piqué frozen, Busquets lost, Valverde whispering to his assistant, "Not again." Rome was happening all over. But still, there was time and danger. One Barcelona goal would change everything again. Liverpool had to keep believing. By the 70th minute, fatigue began to creep in. Legs felt heavy, lungs burned, but hearts refused to quit. Every tackle drew a roar, every clearance a cheer. It wasn't skill that held them now, it was will. Then came the 89th minute, a corner. Trent Alexander-Arnold walked toward the flag. He placed the ball. Then he paused. He pretended to turn away, to leave it for Shaqiri. But in that split second, instinct screamed. He looked up and saw Origi, alone, in the box, unmarked, waiting. Without hesitation, he swung his boot. Corner, taken quickly. Origi! 4-0. Time stopped. The stadium erupted into pandemonium. Origi wheeled away, arms spread, disbelief on his face. Klopp froze, hands on his head, then sprinted down the touchline laughing, screaming, half in shock, half in joy. That moment, that flash of genius, courage, and audacity would live forever. Trent, barely 20, had just written himself into football immortality. Later, he would simply say, "It was instinct. I just saw the opportunity and went for it." And that's how history is made, in seconds of instinct. Barcelona were shattered. Their bodies moved, but their minds were gone. Still, Messi fought on, gliding past Fabinho, searching for a miracle. In the 82nd minute, he curled a shot bound for glory, but Alisson, again, denied him. Every time Messi tried to script his own miracle, Liverpool tore the page apart. 85 minutes, 86, 87. Every second felt eternal. When Piqué stormed forward like a desperate striker, Alisson punched away the cross, and Mane chased the loose ball, running with lungs of fire just to buy Liverpool a few more breaths. Klopp screamed from the sideline, voice hoarse, "Breathe! Just breathe!" Then, the whistle. Full time. Liverpool 4-0, Barcelona, aggregate 4-3. The impossible had been conquered. The world stopped and stared. Players collapsed to the turf, some crying, some laughing, some too stunned to move. Rain mixed with sweat, with tears, with pure disbelief. Klopp ran onto the pitch, hugging every single one of them. "Unbelievable," he whispered. Then louder, "I told you, the boys are fucking mentality giants!" It wasn't tactics. It wasn't luck. It was heart, pure, unbreakable belief. In the Barcelona dressing room, silence. Suarez, tears in his eyes, face buried in his shirt. Messi sitting alone, staring into nothing, haunted by déjà vu. Valverde, defeated, muttered the same words as the year before, "It's Rome again." For Liverpool, destiny had only just begun. Weeks later, they would walk onto the pitch in Madrid and finish the job, beating Tottenham 2-0 to lift their 6th European Cup. But even that triumph, that silver, that glory, could not match the emotion of Anfield. Because trophies are lifted once, nights like this are relived forever. This was not just a match, it was a resurrection. A reminder that belief can defy the gods of logic, that heart can rewrite prophecy. Football is theater, sometimes cruel, sometimes divine. It's faith disguised as sport. And on May 7th, 2019, 11 men proved that belief, when pure enough, can shake the heavens. Barcelona came as giants. Liverpool stood as believers. And believers, when cornered, become legends. This was Rivalries Reloaded, the story of Barcelona versus Liverpool the night Anfield believed. Next time,
Barcelona versus PSG, the remontada.
subscribe, because legends don't end. They reload.